Guys, something may have slipped out regarding that explosive weekly preview, and it has absolutely consumed my thoughts for the past 24 hours. If you have been paying close attention to the latest promotional drops, you know exactly the scene I am talking about. We see a tight, mysterious close-up shot of a woman's hand. She is wearing a very distinct red polka dot shirt, and her fingers are carefully, deliberately dropping some sort of mysterious powder into a glass of water. A rumor has been gaining traction across all the message boards that the intended target of this spiked drink is none other than former WSB director Jack Brennan. I wasn't expecting this detail to surface so quickly, but the insider buzz is practically screaming that this single moment is going to shift the entire balance of power in Port Charles. We do not see the woman's face. We do not see Brennan taking the sip. We just see the setup, the powder dissolving into the clear liquid, and the undeniable tension of a trap being sprung. Everyone assumes that the woman in the red polka dot shirt has to be Nina Reeve. Most viewers believe this because Nina has been spending an incredible amount of time with Jack Brennan lately. They have been strategizing together, sharing steamy moments, and building what looks like a genuine romantic connection. The obvious explanation seems to be that their fragile alliance has suddenly gone sour. Maybe Nina discovered that Brennan is playing her. Maybe she realized he doesn't actually have the black box containing the blackmail evidence against Drew Kane, and in a fit of classic Nina Reeves desperation, she decides to drug him to get the upper hand. Another popular theory floating around is that the hands belong to Willow Kane, attempting to neutralize Drew, but the preview clearly shows the target is Brennan's face. So the audience is collectively pointing their fingers at Nina, assuming this is just another messy chapter in her complicated love life. What if we're looking at this the wrong way? What if that wasn't the real reason at all? Let us take a step back and really analyze the situation. Nina and Brennan are currently allies. They need each other. Nina has absolutely no logical motive to harm the one man who is actively trying to help her and Willow secure leverage against Drew Kane. So, if it isn't Nina, who is the woman in the red polka dot shirt? Enter Ava Jerome. We all know Ava has a closet full of chic, bold prints, and a red polka dot blouse is entirely within her aesthetic wheelhouse. But why on earth would Ava Jerome, a woman currently drowning in her own chaotic war with Sonny Corinthos, target Jack Brennan? Well, you have to look at the invisible strings connecting the players in this town. Ava and Drew Kane have a hidden agenda. We know they have been plotting together, pooling their resources and their mutual hatred to take down Sonny Corinthos for their own selfish benefit. But Drew has a massive, glaring vulnerability right now, and his name is Jack Brennan. If you ask me, this entire drugging scenario is a highly coordinated, desperate heist orchestrated by Drew Kane. Drew is currently trapped. He desperately wants to go after Willow to crush her and exact his revenge. But his hands are tied because Brennan is holding the ultimate trump card, the blackmail evidence of Drew's own crime. Brennan is the one who supplied Willow with this leverage to keep Drew on a tight leash. Drew knows that as long as Brennan possesses that evidence, he can never truly make a move against Willow without risking his own freedom. He needs that evidence destroyed. But breaking into the room of a highly trained, lethal former WSB director is essentially a suicide mission. Drew cannot do it alone. He needs a distraction. He needs someone to lower Brennan's defenses, someone who can slip under his radar. He needs Ava Jerome to play the bait. That's one possibility. Let us explore exactly how this first scenario would play out. Drew approaches Ava and cashes in a favor. He tells her that if she wants his continued support in their war against Sonny Corinthos, she needs to do this one crucial task for him. Ava's mission is simple. Intercept Jack Brennan, engage him in conversation, and slip a heavy-duty sedative into his drink. Once Brennan is unconscious, Ava unlocks the door, and Drew slips into the room to tear the place apart until he finds the blackmail evidence. In this scenario, Ava is merely a pawn in Drew's larger game of chess. She successfully drugs the former WSB head. Drew secures his freedom from Willow's blackmail, and they both walk away unscathed, ready to refocus their combined artillery on taking down the mob boss of Port Charles. It is a clean, efficient, and highly plausible behind-the-scenes possibility. But another theory is that Ava Jerome is not playing the role of a dutiful soldier for Drew Kane at all. What if the situation is being manipulated by Ava for her own ultimate gain? In this second scenario, Ava agrees to drug Brennan and help Drew steal the evidence, but she has absolutely no intention of handing that evidence over to Drew. Ava is a survivor, and right now, she is backed into a corner by Sonny. She needs leverage, power, and protection. If she can drug Brennan and secure the blackmail evidence herself, she suddenly holds the leash to Drew Kane. She could force Drew to do her bidding, completely turning the tables on their partnership. Ava would become the puppet master, holding the secrets of a powerful corporate mogul and outsmarting a WSB operative in one fell swoop. This theory perfectly aligns with Ava's historical pattern of double-crossing her allies to ensure her own survival. And then we have to consider a third scenario, one that paints Drew Kane as the ultimate ruthless villain. What if someone planned this entire drugging incident, not just to get the evidence, but to eliminate a liability? Drew knows that Ava is volatile. She is currently a massive target because of her war with Sonny, and associating with her is becoming increasingly dangerous. What if Drew sets Ava up to drug Brennan, but anonymously tips off the PCPD, perhaps Anna Devane or Harrison Chase, right as the act is being committed? Ava gets caught red-handed attempting to drug and potentially harm a high-profile figure. Ava goes to prison, completely removing her from the board, while Drew uses the ensuing chaos and police distraction to slip in and steal the evidence himself. Drew keeps his hands perfectly clean, eliminates a messy ally, and regains his freedom from Willow, all in a single, cold-blooded maneuver. However, there is a much darker path this story could take. I keep wondering whether we are completely underestimating the sheer level of chaos that is about to unfold. This brings us to the most dangerous possibility of all. What if Ava Jerome's mission to simply sedate Jack Brennan goes catastrophically, irreversibly wrong? Let us look at Ava's current state of mind. She is terrified, paranoid, and operating under extreme duress because of Sonny Corinthos. We know she and Drew are plotting against Sonny. What if Ava is carrying two completely different vials in her purse? One vial contains the heavy-duty sleeping powder intended to knock Jack Brennan out so Drew can conduct his search. But the other vial contains a highly lethal, fast-acting poison that Ava has secretly procured with the ultimate intention of murdering Sonny Corinthos and ending her nightmare once and for all. Picture the scene. Ava is sitting across from Jack Brennan. Her heart is pounding out of her chest. The adrenaline is rushing through her veins. Brennan turns his back for just a fraction of a second. Ava reaches into her designer handbag, her fingers trembling with anxiety. In the dim lighting, under the immense pressure of the moment, she grabs a vial, pops the cork, and empties the powder into Brennan's glass of water. She smiles, hands him the drink, and watches him take a sip. But as she drops the empty vial back into her purse, her fingers brush against the second glass tube. The horrifying realization washes over her like ice water. She didn't use the sleeping powder. In her panicked, frantic state, she accidentally grabbed the wrong vial. She just poured the lethal poison meant for Sonny Corinthos directly into Jack Brennan's drink. This fatal mix-up would instantly transform a simple corporate espionage heist into a full-blown murder investigation. Brennan, a man who has survived WSB assassins, international espionage, and severe medical traumas, could suddenly find himself fighting for his life on the floor of his room, foaming at the mouth because of a simple, panicked mistake by Ava Jerome. If Brennan dies, or even if he falls into a critical coma, the entire landscape of Port Charles shatters. Drew's plan to quietly steal the evidence becomes a complete disaster. He is now an accessory to the attempted murder of a federal agent. Ava's war with Sonny takes a back seat as she suddenly becomes the prime suspect in a homicide. The sheer panic, the scrambling to cover their tracks, and the terrifying wrath of the WSB descending upon Port Charles would provide months of explosive, edge-of-your-seat television. It is the kind of catastrophic twist that changes characters forever. There may be more going on here than a simple spiked drink. We are looking at a powder keg waiting for a mat. Will Jack Brennan actually consume the poisoned water, or will his WSB instincts kick in at the very last second noticing the slight cloudiness in the glass. Will Ava realize her horrifying mistake before the glass touches his lips and violently knock it out of his hand, exposing her entire plot in the process? Or will we watch in absolute horror as Brennan collapses, leaving Ava and Drew scrambling to clean up a murder they never intended to commit? I cannot confirm exactly how this scene will end, but something about this feels hidden. The stakes are too high, the players are too ruthless, and the potential for absolute disaster is practically vibrating off the screen. Keep your eyes glued to that red polka dot shirt, guys, because this unconfirmed information suggests that Port Charles is about to be rocked to its very core. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.